All right, you guys, it is 5 a.m. I got up at 4:15 this morning. I'm heading over to my friend Jen's house. We're going to meet up there, and then we are going to drive over to Disneyland. Okay, guys, it is 6:26. We just arrived at Disneyland, this is the line to get into the garage.
I've never, ever seen it this bad, ever.
The line is backed up.
Jesus.
And we have not moved yet, so we'll keep
This
you
is
updated.
going to take us like a half an hour just to get through here.
Getting the red button. The red button of fate. God.
It's another game show.
It is almost 8 o'clock. I think it's like 5 minutes till. We just got in the park, so we linked all of our passes. So now we are trying to wait for the next 5 minutes to get our boarding passes. We're gonna see what boarding group we get in. But we are in, our passes are linked, so now we just have to wait until 8 o'clock.
Power Rangers.
What is it now? No, isn't it like, and also with your people or some shit like that?
It's down to the last minute.
1 minute.
Seconds. Everyone is waiting to get their boarding pass. We've got it down to some seconds.
50 seconds.
Okay.
I'm having nervous pee right now.
Okay.
You have to hit the find out
seconds.
more when you.
All of us are on our phones waiting.
We're ready.
Watching my watch.
We're waiting to join.
Come on, let's do this, guys.
Counting. This is the longest 50 seconds. of my
30
life.
seconds left.
30 seconds.
I love this. I love
30
this.
seconds. 30 seconds.
Unreal.
Okay.
It's
We're all
I know, literally everyone's standing here like this.
yeah.
So
Everyone,
yeah, this is a great
God,
morning.
Stop
I'm having
being
a
so
good time.
antisocial.
Like, look at everyone hits their
on my
phone.
phone.
Yeah.
15 seconds.
Trying to get to the sky for more
No, not yet.
service.
Everyone's on their phones.
9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Is it live? Is it live?
Nothing's happening.
Excuse me, sir, it's 8 o'clock.
Someone got group one over there. Everyone's cheering. Did we get passes?
I'm not getting through at
No,
all.
I'm not getting it.
What's happening?
Everyone's
I'm
cheering.
leaving way back again.
I can't get it.
Wait, I think I got through.
Do it, done.
71! 71! 71! Grab 71!
Yes! We're group 71!
She got us in.
71! 71!
All of us.
78!
We're in the same party. We're in the same party.
Am I on yours?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes!
Oh, okay.
cool.
We're in the party. We're in.
Oh,
Holy fudge sickle.
Yes!
And I was like, huh?
Mine wasn't opening.
Nice.
Yes!
Good luck!
Yes! We got it! We got our boarding pass! Woo!
Shaking, like my hand.
Okay, it is currently, what time is it?
It is 9:36.
It is 9:36. We've been on
Oh, we can get
Monsters.
fast pass. It's 9:36.
And
We can get fast
we
pass.
have been on
just
Guardians.
make that aggressive
So until we are able to go on to Star Wars,
Oh my God. David and I both went,
Oh my God.
went into the same spot at the same time.
Okay.
I didn't sign a release for it. I didn't sign a release. You can't use my image or my voice. You can't use any of this. I've not released this footage. None of this can be used.
Now we're gonna use it and we're gonna.
I
put
gave
it
you
in the video.
permission to use this footage.
you won't find out until it's on my YouTube channel. We stopped to have some breakfast. We rode a couple rides. Now that we've got our, what is the ride called again?
The Rise of the Resistance.
Now that we got our Rise of the Resistance tickets, we can chill out. There was a freak out earlier, but we got our boarding pass. So now we are eating breakfast and we are gonna chill until our boarding group is called. You know, when I come to Disneyland, I got to get my early sandwich. It's Jennifer's time with early sandwich.
It's so good.
Isn't it?
It's really yummy.
Oh, yummy breakfast. Yummy breakfast, yummy breakfast. It's 2 o'clock, and they're boarding 53 through 63, and we're 71, so we close. We're riding rides, getting drinks, and eating snacks. Yes, but it's 2 o'clock,
The corn dog.
so we're getting close. 1 through 75 is for sure, and then everybody else after that is just a happy surprise. And good for you.
Happy accident.
It's a happy accident, so good for you guys.
It's a small world. It's a small, small world.
Oh, thanks. Look at me. Coach just split down the road. I look like an idiot.
She
And you
said
let
it,
me
not
look
me.
like this all day.
This is all my friends. They're all on their phones. We're bonding.
Shut up. Literally all been on the phone all day.
We're all bonding together. This is a good group. It's a good group of people.
Great time.
Okay, so it's 5:09, and we are stuck on boarding group 66 and 67. So
The last 2 hours.
for the last 2 hours. So we think that the ride has been breaking down a couple times, and that is why we've still not gone on. But anyways, we've been filling our time with rides, and it's been freezing today. So we stopped and got cocoa and coffee. So now we're just chilling and fast passing our way through the day until we can get on this ride. We're group 71. They're stuck on 67, so we should be soon. Hopefully. We'll see. But until then, we're having fun.
So much fun. So much fun.
Ignore him. Okay, so it is 7 o'clock right now. We are still not on the ride. They are still boarding classes, boarding passes, 34 through 36. We asked someone, and they said the ride is not broken down. They said it is still waiting, that no news is good news, and as long as we don't get a cancellation, that we still should be good. So we've been here for over 12 hours, and we are still trying to get on this ride. So I've been up since 4:15, and I'm not leaving until I get on this ride. And we're only four boarding groups away, so it has to be soon. And we are still just doing filler rides and eating snacks until we can get on this ride. All right, guys, it is 7:10. They finally called our boarding group. We are in line. We are walking in right now. It is finally time. After 13 hours of waiting, we're finally getting on the ride. Wow!
Literally want to.
We're on the ship of the First Order. We gotta escape!
Resistance, Rebel Alliance, what?
I like it though. Do I want to leave? I want to see Kylo first.
Then you can clean it when you get done interrogating you. I sure do.
Kylo Ren put his force at you. That's it. You got
No. Jokes are getting nowhere. No, this way. What? I can tell. Orange and gray, answer yourself.
Are you? Oh my god. This is the part where I cry.
So this is the
We finally got on. Shit. And now we're getting off. 13 hours we've been waiting.
Attention, please. The ride has temporarily stopped. A cast member will assist you shortly.
And now it's broken down, and now we're getting asked to leave.
Alright, I'll have everybody come right this way. Again, I very much apologize. Unfortunately not, because we've broken the way that we're going to have to eat back in the
Fucking hate.
Are we going to be able to get back on it later?
We're going to give everybody, we're going to scan your park tickets. Everybody's going to be given a fast pass to come back to the attraction. We're going to do our best to come back up as quickly as we can.
What if we can't come back tonight?
That would have to be somebody above me that you would have that discussion with.
Yeah, we talked to somebody.
Attention, guys. Due to unforeseen circumstances,
I'm sorry, but
your escape has stopped.
Third time.
Oh my god.
Crew members are on their way.
A little further, and then it's like we get here, and then that's it.
Okay, well, we did the whole pre-show. We sat down to get on the ride, and the ride broke down. And they had us get off the ride, and they gave us fast passes to redeem to come back. But after 13 hours of waiting, and it breaking down and us having to wait all day long, we were right there. We were seated in the ride, and they made us get off. We were like there. We were ready. We had our seatbelt on, and they told us the ride was not working. We had to get up and we had to leave. And they said when the ride comes back up that we'll be able to get back on. But there was people in our ride that said they had gone through like 3 times already. And so I'm scared maybe that's gonna happen to us. We're gonna go through again and it's gonna break down again. And so I don't know what we're gonna do. I don't know if we're gonna try to wait things out, or because we've already been here all day long. So it's very frustrating. It's very frustrating, but we'll see. What I did see was immaculate, amazing. Some of the best showmanship of a ride that I've ever seen in my entire life. And it's disappointing because it was such a tease that I couldn't see the rest of it, and it's frustrating, you know? So if a ride's not open, if a ride is not ready to be ridden, if it's breaking down this much, why are you opening the ride? I don't understand. So I'll let you guys know what we decide to do. But yeah, we're gonna figure it out. We've already been here all day long, so I feel like we might try to tough it out, but who knows? We'll see. Okay, the shit was so legit. We're going on for a second time. We got honorary fast passes from when we got kicked off, so we're going on a second time. Shit was dope. I'm gonna try to record it this time. Whatever you guys see is what I could get.
Recruits, for your safety, stay seated with seatbelts securely fastened. Keep hands, arms, feet, and legs inside the transport and supervise your children. Tell them it's a prisoner transfer. Did it work? Good. Now get a move on. There's a clear path to the turbo lifts at the end of the hallway. Turn right. A probe droid. You're lucky it didn't spot you. Take those turbo lifts and stay out of trouble.
Hey, you're not authorized. Wait, those are the prisoners.
Cover is blown. Find an alternate route. These 2 droids anyway.
Detention block breach. Prisoners last seen on level D. There they are! Fire! Distinct path to spawn! Hurry! No! I said down!
This does not look good. Try to find another way down to the escape pods.
The Resistance will attempt to rescue the prisoners.
They have neither the resources nor the courage to engage us.
You underestimate their conviction. Raise the shields!
Shields? I see no evidence.
Now!
Sound the alarm! All personnel to their stations!
Sir, the prisoners have escaped.
How brave, but ultimately hopeless. There's nowhere to run.
Oh Lord.
Attention, all resistance personnel. Abandon ship. I repeat, abandon ship. This destroyer's about.
There's no escape. You will tell me the location of the secret base, and then I will destroy you and the Resistance.
Your escape pods came in a little off target. Ground crews will meet you outside the wreck. Nice job, recruits. Not what you signed on for, but hey, you're Resistance now. I think I have that authority. Right, Beck? Where's the lieutenant? I need eyes on Beck. Line up. Scan for his pod beacon.
Alright you guys, so it is actually the next night. When I got home, it was about 12:30, 1 o'clock in the morning. I was exhausted. My thighs and my feet hurt like no other today. Then I had to wake up early and go straight to work. So now I'm home. I'm about to make myself some dinner. But before I get too lazy and fall asleep once again, I wanted to finish the video. So overall, Rise of the Resistance is probably the best ride that I have ever been on in my entire life. It's not even, how can I say this? It's, you know, it's hard to compare it to other rides just because it takes small elements from other rides that already exist and make it its own thing, but it does it 10 times better, if that makes any sense. Like there is small pieces of like Star Tours, and then there's small pieces of, you know, like storybook rides at Disneyland, but then also I want to say a little Guardians, but that might be a little exaggerated. If you don't like Guardians, don't worry, you could still go on this ride, but it's just, it's the immersiveness of it, it's the detail of it that makes this ride so spectacular. It's such a beautiful ride, and it really makes you feel like you're on the Death Star. And it's amazing because I feel like that's why Disneyland itself is as successful and loved as it is, because there's no other experience like it, because it is so themed and encapsulating that it makes you feel like you're in a completely different world. That's what they're known for, and that's exactly what this ride does. And it's just, I mean, you guys saw the footage of the ride, but honestly, it's even more spectacular in person. You need to ride the ride in person. Now, for those of you guys that maybe kind of got lost in the video of maybe what was going on, if you plan on going to Disneyland and riding Rise of the Resistance, there are some things that you need to know, because there were people at the park that were genuinely confused and didn't know how the boarding process worked, of how to get, you know, the boarding passes and all that stuff. So if you're someone that doesn't know, I'll explain to you right now. So basically, Disneyland opens at 8 o'clock in the morning, but at the same time, because the ride is obviously in Disneyland, that is when the boarding pass opens. So this is week 2 that it's been open. I don't know how much longer they're gonna be doing this, but they've been opening Disneyland early to people. So around 7:30, they've been letting people in the gates, because once the park is officially open at 8 o'clock, the openness of getting your boarding pass, it opens. So what you need to do is you need to go on your Disneyland app. You need to go under Rise of the Resistance. It'll be under the Star Wars Land area of the app in like the upper right hand corner. You click on that, and then there's going to be an option for join boarding group. Now, it's not going to be clickable until 8 o'clock. Now, this is super important. I didn't know this. My group of friends that I went with told me this. You need to be your theme park ticket or your season pass ticket, whatever you're using to get in, you need to be scanned and physically in the park in order to get your boarding group. That's the only way. Like, you can't be in the parking lot. It's not just being on the premises. You need to be scanned and in the park in order to get your boarding pass. So that whole footage that you saw of us on Main Street and people were like freaking out and everything, that was everyone standing on Main Street waiting for 8 o'clock to hit so they could click on join boarding group so you could get your boarding pass. Now, again, as of right now, this is the second weekend it's been open. They've been guaranteeing people boarding groups 1 through 75, absolute for sure guarantee that you're getting on the ride. Now, after group 75, I didn't experience this, but I've been told that they still give out other boarding groups as a just in case, like if we have time for you guys will make it on the ride. So they do give out boarding groups after 75, and then at a certain point, that's it. There's no more space. That is the only way to get boarding passes as of now. You can't just walk to the ride and stand in line. You won't get on. So the whole drama that was happening with us was that the ride kept breaking down, and we were group 71, so we were in that guaranteed vicinity of getting on the ride. And so, you know, of course we enjoyed our day at Disneyland. You know, we love Disneyland, that's why we have our season passes. But, you know, we went there to get on the ride. We got there at 6:30 a.m. I woke up at 4:15 a.m. to get to this ride. So, you know, when 5 and 6 o'clock is rolling around and we're checking our status and it's saying, you know, these boarding groups are boarding, you know, we're waiting for our number, and it would just be at a standstill sometimes and the numbers wouldn't go up, and then other times it would just completely turn off. And so, you know, we're getting frustrated, like, you know, we're here to ride this ride. When is this gonna happen? So, like you saw, 13 hours later, we were finally able to get on the ride. But then as we physically sat down, we went through the whole pre-show and everything. We're super excited. We're ready for it. We sit down, we put our seatbelts on, and as soon as I heard the click, it was get off. It broke down. You have to get off. And we were aggravated. It was like a tease. It's like we got so close, and now we can't ride the ride. And some of the other people in our group were even angrier because this was their third time going through, apparently. They were in boarding group like 50 or 60, and they kept getting fast passes to come back on the ride and try to redo it again because it kept breaking down. This was a problem We were very upset about it. A friend in our group went and spoke to a manager who handled the situation absolutely wonderfully. We went to customer service and we gave him a good review because he was very, very nice and kind to us. He offered us not only fast passes to return to the ride when they got it up and running, which they should have already, but he gave us fast passes for that, and he also offered all 4 of us in our group each 2 fast passes for other rides in the park, including the other Star Wars ride, which the name escapes me right now, but then also it worked on Rise of the Resistance. So what we did was we went on the other Star Wars ride, came back, used our fast pass, the ride was up and running again, so we finally rode it. It worked perfectly, amazing, and we loved it so much that we used our second fast pass to ride it again. And as much drama and grief that we had through the day, it was honestly so worth it. The ride is just, it's amazing. I can't really put into words. All I can say is that you need to go and ride it yourself. Again, my footage is, I tried to do my best to film, but it's just honestly way better in person. You need to actually be there and experience it and see it, because there's nothing else like it on the planet that I know of, that I've ever ridden. So it's on a whole other level. If you are a Star Wars fan, obviously you need to ride this. If you don't like roller coasters, if you like storybook ride type rides, you might really enjoy this, because it is like Peter Pan and Snow White on steroids. Like if Fantasyland rides had children with Star Tours, but then gave their baby steroids to be like 10 times better than their parents, that was not a horrible description, but that's like the best way I can describe it. I might be butchering it, but you saw the footage, you know what it is. Go ride it. Highly recommend. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope it was helpful. I hope it inspires you to go and ride the ride. Please support this ride. It's amazing. And I will see you guys next time.